I feel funny being here, Jonathan, and you're not here. You should be here with your works.
Yes, we're planning to go. Odilon,
And
the youngest boy, will get his vaccination tomorrow, the second dose. So I think we'll
okay.
be okay. We can
So
drop
now
by
you're all protected after that.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn wants to come over there nga, to make a visit. Yan. So I hope we can make it nga, before the exhibition closes. It looks good. Actually, ang ganda ng hanging. I'm really excited for the
Well, I'm
works.
glad you like the hang. I couldn't hang everything because we're only using half the space.
Yeah. Yes.
So the others will just have to be in the back room. But I think it looks okay. At least there's some breathing space, not too
Yeah.
crowded.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
And
it's
it
very
shows you've been keeping busy during the pandemic,
more or less.
more or less. So you're really just at home.
Uh, for yes, we're just here. But if we need to go out, we go out naman once in a while
Once
for
in
the
a while,
kids, ganyan,
okay.
and
Well, anyway, let's get to the interview. So, good afternoon. I'm Ringo Bunoan. I'm curating Jonathan Olazo's show here at Manila, Hotel Painter 2. So, this afternoon, we're here to do a short discussion with Jonathan. It's quite a bit of a challenge because of all these technical things, but I hope to keep this an interesting conversation. So, for my first question, for those who are not familiar with the first hotel painter exhibition at Manila Contemporary, can you please tell us about that show?
okay. That the Manila Contemporary Show uh, was done in around 2013, if I'm not mistaken. So that was in 2013. Uh, uh, it was a big show. If I can remember correctly, then I had around 40 works for that exhibition. Uh, there was a backstory to it. I was doing some curating jobs for Valentine Willie. He's the owner of with partners of Manila Contemporary that time. It was a big space. So one day he came to me and he asked me if he took me aside and he said, "Can we focus on your work as an artist?" So we decided to do a solo exhibition for me. So during that time too, I was working on abstract paintings, something different. I was taking up my master's in UP College of Fine Arts. I had Ringo Bunuoan as one of my teachers there. So I was working with these kinds of painting, or this. Uh, I'd say it's kind of it's different what I was doing. It works. So it's the works for these were more spontaneous, I think, or more improvised in terms of process. Unlike before, the abstraction I was working on, it was there was a system to it. There was a model, and I was sort of approximating from a model the
Mhm.
I was doing. So primarily that's the different uh, point from or departure from it. So it was a big show, I think. And I think another story to that, it was one of the last few shows that Valentine was did for Manila Contemporary. And I think after my show, or there's another one. I think it was Ling Kisimping show. After that, they decided to close shop. He was supposed to transfer to another venue, but it didn't materialize. So Valentine decided to close the gallery altogether.
When we say hotel paintings, it's actually very derogatory, right? I mean, it's as if paintings has been reduced to, something purely decorative, like furniture, sofa. So, what are your thoughts on this, and why did you use this as a point of reference?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. Let's start. I guess yeah, primarily it's really the case. But I've sat on the side of of both sides of the fence, right? I think I came up with the title based from experience. Like when I was younger, I was people would uh, approach me and ask me to do commissions like for hotels, and then most of the
So you
time
actually did hotel paintings?
sad to say yes.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay.
uh, I think
Which
it's
hotel? If I may ask.
yes. Uh, I did. Yeah, I think after the hotel painter show with Valentine, Eva, the curator there, she decided to submit some of the paintings for an actual hotel. So
Okay.
yes, it's true. The hotels
What a
are
funny story.
so the paintings are at a hotel in Singapore. I think that the name of the hotel is Urban Square Hotel. I don't
Okay.
know. I think they try to get um, artists from all over Southeast Asia. Like Lindsley was part of that project, and also Bernardo Paquin among the Filipinos. And there's a lot of from Malaysia, from Indonesia, stuff. Uh, yeah, I think so the title came about because I'm fond of using. I'm not sure if this is the right word. I'm fond of using self-effacing titles for my shows. Like before, I yeah I was reading the backgrounder like I had this show before called the Idiot Paintings exhibition. Yeah, I remember that story before when Mr. Chabet used to come to my studio in Cubao, and he saw the paintings for that exhibition, and he suddenly asked me, "Oh, do you have a title now for your show?" And then I said, "Sir, I wanted to call these idiot paintings." So he said, "Huh? Idiot?" And then Ronald Achocos was there then, and he said, "Huh? Bakit naman idiot?" And well, and then I tried to rationalize kind of why I chose idiot because I based the title on an idea of idiot cards, like the one we use in shoots and in live broadcast, but they had those placards where they
Yeah.
yes
Something like a guide.
yes
Yeah.
or so
Yeah.
so I was trying to explain to Sir Chabet that I thought of paintings as that way, that they prompt people or they prompt the audience into something, and so yeah, yeah. Eventually, they saw the humor in it in the title, and so even Ronald said, "Yeah, okay, yeah." And then later on, I did some shows in like Don Juan manifestos, it's just the continuing love affair with painting per se, and how it uh, evolves into something else, like into installation art, so that came about yung title, yung Hotel Painter. I think when that show came out, I don't know if you remember Sid Reyes, but he's the famous critic. He went up to me and then he said, "Oh, Jonathan, now you're trying to be critical of what's going on. Beware." He was trying he was trying to do that. So maybe the title worked in some way. It's Hotel Painter, but yeah, yeah. So well, actually, I decided on that title because you know, I thought hotels are nice. I,
It's a
I,
nice environment.
I really find myself in lounging in hotels once in a while, like having coffee with friends or colleagues. Ganyan. I was also able to do a project with sa Shangri-La. I don't nobody really knows yung
Shangri-La Hotel.
nobody really knows about it because it's just parang a minor contribution to the project. I was supposed to do this painting for the concierge thing, the desk behind it, but eventually they moved my painting to the side entrance of suites. I think it's the Shangri-La in in Bonifacio.
Mm.
See, yeah. So I guess it's parang it's uh, it's that way. Parang how do you say this? Parang when you're at the receiving end, it's parang it's our way of getting back at the people who want to do paintings for them. Not naman in a very aggressive way, kasi like I remember we met nga I think she was the daughter of the owner of that hotel in Shangri-La, and she was the one going over the proposals, and then and then she says nga, uh, does he fit the budget? But he was pointing at me, so so meron ganung angle. It's one of the I uh, the many anecdotes I keep kasi nga parang you experience these things ganun, as an artist or painter na parang they ask you to do a project for them, and then they uh, they have these parang parameters that in some way it might limit the artist, maybe in terms of the budget, that they have. Uh, there's a lot of great hotels naman actually. I was going over your questions nga. We
Yeah.
visited nga the hotel dun sa Singapore. There's one parang wonderful sculpture there. It kind of looks like a decoration piece. I think it was done by Anthony Gormley, the sculptor, the
Mm.
British sculptor. Yeah, it's Marina Bay Sands, I think. We were able to stay do an overnight there. Fortunately, like that was 5 years ago, I think. Yeah, my mother was still alive, and so it uh, it looked like a matrix of small sculptures. It was actually very beautiful, so
Mm.
I mean, maybe just to balance lang that maybe hotels now are trying their best to make a gallery out of their surroundings,
Yeah.
something like that.
It's also good to see artworks beyond the white cube of galleries and museums, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Have you always been doing abstraction, or was there ever a time when you made figurative paintings?
Uh, yes, uh, I started out as a printmaker. I don't know if you know that. Before I went to UP, College of Fine Arts, I was into printmaking. I was doing figurative work in a way that I mean figurative in a way that people can recognize the
Yeah.
image. Yeah, so I did uh, prints, and then when I went to UP, like I think that was the pivotal. There was a lot. Uh, the teaching was like uh, I think basically modernist that time during the 80s. Like there's a lot of formal training going on, so yeah, I think I got it from UP, and it kind of influenced me to do the abstract work. I think particularly there was Sir Chabet's class. Like I was there. I had him as a teacher when I was in third year, and he he was going over my work, and then parang he brought books, diba, in to class,
Yeah.
and he was showing me these great books like Richard Serra, Said Woli, Tapies, and he was just leaving them there in the classroom for the students to browse. And it wasn't force feeding naman us. We was just he was just there. And then when he picked your interest, he would discuss what was happening there. So yeah, so there's I think later on then, like maybe after I graduated and I was doing the abstract work, I did some few figurative works too, and then for an exhibition with I think it was June Villalon, and and also for Manila Contemporary. I did some
Mm.
uh, figurative work, maybe more like pop artwork. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, what is it about abstraction that you like, or some? What is it about it that draws you?
Okay. I think it's how the artist is able to combine formal elements like the gesture, line, color, figure and ground, and he's able to manipulate it in such a way that uh, there's this energy from the painting, like, and then it draws you in. So I'm really fascinated with that idea, like how the painting can connect with someone, So I think basically that's it. And I think by nature I'm really drawn to abstract work. It's I'm trying to analyze it now why I'm drawn to them. So I think by nature I'm just like an abstract person, and I really like for instance I was listening to new wave music when I was younger, but then I graduated na to like not graduated, but I veered into listen to jazz music like or something like that. It's kind of very abstract then,
Yeah, and it's also very improvised.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
the process.
the process is very improvisational.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe that's I'm maybe by nature I'm just drawn to it, and it. I'm not saying that it's more challenging than figurative work, but it's maybe it is actually. It demands more from a viewer or me from a listener to jazz music, and it really keeps you going, So
Um, Nowadays, I mean, in this age, artists have actually moved so far away from painting. But then, and every time they keep on saying painting is dead, but it's actually, it never dies. I mean, it's like, it's still here. So, I mean, why do you still do it? Why do you still paint despite,
uh, I'm also guilty of that. Yeah, for a while I thought painting is was dead. Also, I also veered away from doing paintings for a period in my work or artistic work. Uh, but I think the yeah yeah for me it's the idea of just working, and then so it's very immediate. It's something like drawing or yeah, for me it's like that. But there's it's there. You can pick up a brush or paints and then canvas, and you can and then there's the confrontation of it. Uh, I always remember what Ronald Dacho also described in painting. It's like an arena. Like you go there and you do battle with the canvas, So I think that's very challenging. So maybe it's one of the aspects of why I'm always going back to it.
mm,
Uh, I'm not sure if it's therapeutic, but it's the way that it's an artistic activity, and so it it uh, it hones the maybe for in my case it hones me like to think more of uh, what's happening then, and then somehow when you're focused on that painting, you also try you you're given the chance or something like that to look outside, and then it it sort of consolidates a person, or for me, when
Mm.
I painting. So
Do you
yeah.
think painting is still relevant?
Well, that's a good question. Then I think uh, maybe now, yeah. I'm looking around, like the younger generation of artists now who are doing their practice. Diba? I think painting's still there. They're still engaged in the medium, the art form. Uh, I think the audience is still were captivated by it, the idea of painting. So we're still fascinated with it. So, and I think artists, as long as artists are still able, maybe to reinvent it, or perhaps it'll still be relevant. Well, that's my humble opinion. I'm not sure if it's I'd I'd like for it I don't know, to survive. Like personally, I think it's something. It's just there for people
Yeah.
to enjoy. And I think you'll maybe it really shouldn't naman be classified as dead. Maybe it's just maybe just be there. It's part of the genres or art forms artists can take up. Hopefully,
What was it like to grow up with a father who was a painter? I mean, especially Romulo Olazo.
Uh,
I mean, he's also very much known for abstraction. So it's like you've been looking at abstraction your whole life, right? I mean, you're so immersed in it. So
yeah.
what is that like?
I almost said it's a bummer like, to be the son of a famous personality. There's so much pressure to be the son. I remember the time when I entered UP, like people were the my classmates and other students were over my shoulder, and then they were criticizing my work like, "Ay, ba yung anak ni Olazo?" they, were, they were mouthing that, and so oh my god, so it's hard. I think it's but there's some there's pros and cons, and so yeah, the pros naman, I think it uh, it gives you easy access to the art world, and so yeah, my dad was friends with a lot of the great ones, di ba? He went with sila Mang Cesar Legaspi, and Manansala, and then there was H.R. Ocampo, and then Malang, and then ang Kyukok. Parang uh, they were together most of their time. Like they would spend like go to lunches, so it was nice actually. And then I remember the time when Mr. Ang was in the house and with Tony Austria, and I was painting in my makeshift studio sa driveway, and then they would glance over my shoulder, and they would criticize my work. Oh, ganda ng kulay na lang. Si Mang Tony, si Mang Ang Huyok, oh, okay yan, ginagawa mo. So, yeah, I was thinking na yun lang yung mga pros there. Like, they know you, and then you'll get to see what's inside your uh, you're like the fly on the wall, di ba? You see what's happening. So, it was fun actually, when
Mm.
the, uh, and siguro it's a blessing then because when I was growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be not a painter at least, so I I didn't know. I was into music, and I love listening to music and the radio, but I had no skills naman as a musician, so it was just there. So it was it's quite natural for me to follow in his footsteps. And the good thing naman, dad and my mom, they didn't pursuing the field, So in fact, they were encouraging me to
To
pursue
take up
music.
painting, yeah. So you grew up with so many. You really grew up with so many artists around you. But who would you consider like your main influences?
Uh, it, it has to be Mr. Chabet. I mean, when I got into college, he was really the person there that I know. I, I really liked how he approached art and everything, and so I was also fond of the other teachers there, like sila Nestor Vinuan, si Dean Vinuan, and then there was si Virginia Dandan, and also Benji Kamangis. They were ano naman, very instrumental then in uh, how I am now as an artist. And so, but Sim Search Beta, he did open the possibilities. So uh, there was something else in where he, I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's like he knew art about like he knew more about art maybe than anyone else. So and uh, he didn't force feed the man or spoon feed me into like how he was approaching his work. Parang it was just natural then for me to be drawn to what he was doing. I really liked his work when I was in high school. I see my dad kept collages of his works, naman collages, ganyan, and
Mhm.
I remember
Your
he,
dad was the framer, was the framing Mr. Chabet's works.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school I would see Mr. Chabet there sa house, and he was framing this parang cloth with the polka dots, and he was my dad had in his frame shop a very good framer that his name was July, I think. He's a lanky guy, and he was really the great framer. So my dad kept him in his employ, so Mr. Chabet would come there, and then he would para draw the schematics for this parang specific kind of frame. It was a double glass frame and with
Mm.
sand inside, so it's really really very technical in the frame that he wanted, So, so those were the times. I don't think Mr. Chabet knew me that time. I think I was 15 years old, and he was there, and then. He was also, yeah, I think they spent time in with the Band Aid. I don't know if you knew about that. Like they would go. It was this parang jogging club in Quezon Memorial Circle. So Sabet was there, and mom and dad they would go. They would run maybe 5 or 10 times a week. They were a group. They were running around UP, and then from Quezon Memorial to UP to Balara, to Katipunan, and then they would go back. And I was there. I was running around the circle naman with my sisters. He's a very influential person in Sir Chabet. Yeah, I'm thinking now like I don't know if I've mentioned this before. Like some of the works I'm doing now, parang they react indirectly to the plates given in class during my third year there in fine arts. So parang I'm going back to those exercises and plates and trying to make sense of it like now. And so like the collages I was doing there, uh, they still resonate like how I approach the work. Parang they're still part of or even the paintings that for this show.
You also taught at the UP Fine Arts. I mean, um,
Okay.
when was that? What were the years? And how do you think, how will you describe yourself as a teacher when it was your turn to teach?
In UP. Uh,
Yeah.
I think Mr. Chabet was a very, very hard act to follow. I usually get that. You'll never be Chabet when I was there. Uh, oh no, my son went into the room. Sorry. Hey,
Hello.
go back to mommy. Go back to mommy. Uh, hey. Yeah, so I think I think many times Sir Chabat was perceived to be as a dominant figure, right? Like he's like the alpha. Oops, is. Yeah, I usually get that. Like uh, yeah, like some colleagues they'll say, you won't be able to match what Mr. Chabet did in UP. But naman, personally, I'm not really on that track. Maybe I never thought I was going to be. I will be like Sir Chabet. Uh, whereas dominant as figure he was as influential. I think my time there, I think I was more open, like it was more me, like having a dialogue like with the kids. It was more like I was more open with my style or approach to, approach to teaching. And I was I always thought to myself I was just having a dialogue with the students, and I'm just showing possibilities to them, and so I think that was who I was. I also got criticized there, but from some of the handful of students, I was too lenient with them. So I was just, that I don't know, uh, I think my stay there was okay. I think I was able to help some students, and yeah. So, but yeah, it's yeah, for me it was very fun to gain that experience, like yeah, to be in front of a classroom, so I remember nga what Joy David parang said before, but uh, when Sir quit na teaching in fine arts, parang Sir missed the aspect of the dialogue with the students, so I did feel that then when I stopped teaching. So
Mm.
there's something there, the energy of the classroom setting. It's actually very different from just the downtime. So uh, yeah, for me personally, the system works.
Mm. What do you think about young artists now?
Mhm. Um, it's it's ano, I think the art scene is very different now. Like when they go into college, they're aware of the auctions, the money that goes in, and somehow it I don't know it's part of the equation now for the young kids. Yeah, I remember before it wasn't like that when we were in college. We were just there to make art maybe, or ideally, but we also need to sell some of our stuff to survive, or to do the next work. Uh, but I think the kids now are uh, maybe it's a good sign for them. I mean, they're fortunate that there's a art system now that can catch like what they're doing, and then they'll be supported, or they can really make a career out of it, and then so um, I'm I'm really not sure if that's good, but because I always think that the art world is a very I know, very fickle, very fickle minded. It
Yeah.
does keep on changing, and sometimes the styles are maybe just like hyped up, like the Ayn Rand thing, that just this group of people who decide who's the next. It's I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure it's healthy for the for the young kids. But I see a lot of, yeah, when I was in UP, I saw a lot of talented students there. I was there for 8 years, so it would be nice, like if I don't know, if there was really a system for uh, looking back now. I had this one student there who was really doing brilliant work. What was his name? Ren something. I forgot his Rensley, I think is his name. It's very unfortunate he passed away at an early age. So he could have, maybe I just thinking back now, if there was a system that could have, parang when they graduated, they could have, you know, shown their work maybe, or there was some support system. You know. He was chosen to be part of that French exchange when he was in UP. I don't know if he met Sandra. And there's this exchange diba, from with the Ecole Beaux-Arts. Is that correct? So he was there for 2 months, and then it was nice. He sent me a note one time, and he said that he really relished the time when he was in class because it sort of connected with what he saw there in France. You know. And also, there's one student who did also mention that the jazz, Gabriel. I don't know if you've known him. He went na he I think he just graduated London, London Academy. I'm not sure which St. Mark's, but it's a school. It's a famous school there in London. He got in via grant also scholarship. So I think I don't know, the kids now are aware of what's going on then. So it's nice. And
There's more opportunities definitely for them
yeah,
compared to our time.
yes. And uh, I think yung talent nila, it's scary. They're really scary good. Yung talent that they're showing. Like the ones I've seen sa fine arts. They're really very good artists. It's just maybe a matter lang of really how holding them, or maybe the right direction maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure how. Like, kasi there's this they see what's something like yung market. It's there. So I think they try to work with that yung market na yan, or
Okay, one last question. Okay, as someone who's been making art since the 80s, how has the scene changed, and where do you see yourself in this scene?
Uh, that's a tricky question. Then, I, I think it's changed. I think maybe primarily now the yung systems of uh, of how do you say this? Parang the art market is there, so it's parang in place, and I think there's more institutional, works or support coming in, ganyan. So, uh, well, that's not naman the case. I think there was a lot of institutional support before when I was growing up, So I just, yeah, like there's yung 13 artists, so it's still there now. So uh, I'm not sure. But I think the only thing that's what's more in place, I think, is yung maybe yung market is there, the art market, the idea of commodity of art becoming more of a commodity, So uh, that if as someone practicing now, I think I'm I've always saw myself naman parang not really part of yung system na yun. Or I think yeah, it, parang the boat has sailed on. Ganun. I think primarily, I'm just seeing now, like, maybe I'm going back to my answer. Parang maybe it's not naman, the change is not so much. Maybe it's still. it's still there. I mean, uh, like how I would regard the art scene, because I think I've been close din to colleagues, ganyan, like sila Nilo, ganyan, and sila Aram De Leon. So it's still the same for me. Somehow, like I'm just there doing work, and like, I see nga the like uh, art stars. They're parang mga rock and roll stars na now, and then there's so much demand for their work. Parang parang there's so a part of the art community that's making the demand for yung mga works na to, and ano, it's the work hyping, ganyan. So, well, it's there. Well, maybe that's part of the equation now. The commerce there. So uh, that's it. I think for me, it's like my goal lang now. I'm I'm turning 53 ata this year, so I just realized maybe I have at least 2 decades, fortunately, so I mean, maybe I just want to do work plan for this time, and then I always wanted to do this work na something monumental that it's just there in the back of my head, and try to work at it. And so it's really my holy grail. That's the work I want to do. And so it's this fun long mural and very eclectic work it's just there. Parang I want to do that. So unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have the chance to do it. If, God willing, ganyan. So
Okay, so well, Jonathan, thanks for answering those questions. It's kind of choppy because of all these technical problems, but um, Natalie will try to fix it, and hopefully we can put together something nice to post. So that's about it. So thank you so much. I hope we can catch up in real life here in the gallery during your run, during the run. Let me know when you're coming over so that I can
well,
meet up, and we can also like catch up and with Lynn and the kids.
yes, we'll probably bring over kasi wala kaming yaya. So the complete opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Ako wala na, ano na ako eh. Lila's been in Amsterdam since 2019. So, yeah.
Wow. So how are you
Hindi.
doing? You're she's not coming back anytime soon. Sheila?
No, I told her to stay there na lang. Doon na lang siya. And then ako na lang yung bibisita doon.
Better.
Because she's better off there, and she's working. I mean, she's graduating this year, and then she's working. So yeah, I'll just go visit her there. Yeah,
Okay, that's really nice.
yeah. Okay, so we wrap this up, and then Natalie will be our editing whiz to make something watchable after this.
Yeah, not sure I spoke in this interview, so just try to make sense of what I said.
Yeah. Okay, so it's nice catching up.
Yeah, catching up. Thank you so
We'll
much
see you.
for the
Yeah.
really. It's just really sorry. It's terrific the way it sounds. So really, I mean, I'm really happy with
Yeah. I'm glad you're happy with the show.
this.
Okay. Bye bye.